on chat. Hey, Lisette, how are you?
Hello, good morning.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I've been having problem. We do our like weekly faculty kind of meetings. It's always an issue with people hearing me. So, but my
Oh, no.
laptop won't connect to the internet here on campus.
Oh, weird.
I know, which makes it not totally useless, but pretty
It's
close.
your college laptop, the one we
Yeah,
just.
yeah.
Oh,
It won't.
okay.
It has not been able to connect to the internet for
Wow,
quite some
that's
time.
not
I
good.
I sort of fixed it for a while and then it's not working again. I don't know, man. So I'm just like, whatever. I mean,
Technology, it's great until it doesn't work.
yeah, it's nice to have it home. You know, it's
Yeah,
fine.
definitely.
It's fine, I guess. But it doesn't do the thing that it was supposed to do. So
Yep.
huge surprise.
Yep, right.
Right? What time is it? We'll get started here soon, I guess.
9:57.
Happy to see people.
Yeah,
I'll keep this short too. We won't need an hour.
always good to learn new tricks.
It's a good trick. Hopefully people will get excited about trying it. I know it's like yet another technology.
Yep, exactly.
But
And
this one,
you never know how the students are going to
this
react
is
to
true.
it either. You know, some things you get so excited about and then you show the students, they're like, eh.
Eh. This one though, I feel like is worth the
Okay, cool. I'm
effort.
excited.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and mute myself just for the next couple of minutes, and then we'll get
Okay.
going. Okay, y'all, it's 10 o'clock. Maybe some people will wander in. Thanks for coming. And I haven't muted anybody. You can unmute yourself if you want to and ask anything as we're going along. I am going to record just because, am I recording now? Yes, I am. Cool. I'm recording because some folks couldn't make it because they have like advising stuff going on. Oh, good. Here's everybody over on the side. So yeah, if there's anything as we're going you want to stop and ask me about, totally do that. We're going to keep this fairly, hopefully short. It shouldn't take the whole hour. I know you're busy. I'm busy. Busy. So if we're so dang busy, then why do we want to add yet another technology to our courses? It's just, there's so many. Well, it's worth considering, and I'll show you why. Hopefully we're going to go over some benefits. So let's get to it. Adding FlipGrid. I imagine a lot of y'all are at least somewhat familiar with FlipGrid, but basically it's just a place where it's a contained place, and that's important for reasons I'll get into in a minute. It's a contained place where students can make short video responses to the course material. So why would we want to do that? Well, we're going to go over the benefits. There are a few drawbacks, but there are workarounds for that. I'm going to show you quickly how to create a course. It's really easy, and I'm going to show you how to help your students register for a course. That's also really easy, far more than any other kind of technology I've used so far. Creating assignments, grading those assignments. I'm going to show you a few of my assignments, how I grade them with the rubric, and then if we have time, I'll show you a quick sample video from one of my students. Not the whole thing, but just so you can see what it looks like. So why I use FlipGrid? I like it particularly for online and hybrid courses because it creates a more classroom discussion-like vibe. And there's just something kind of neat about being able to see and hear, or at least hear, your students. And they seem to like that kind of vibe too. It's much less sterile, especially now with Ultra being as sterile as it is. That's right, I said it. It's sterile, okay? Especially being that way, I think this is a good way to create a little bit more, like add more human element to the situation. Also, if you are somebody who gives a lot of writing assignments, then this can be a nice break from that. So I don't know about you, but I just felt like it was constant discussion boards and journals, just constant. It's just like, how many discussion boards can we have them do, honestly? And I still do use those a lot, but this is a nice break from that. It's also really easy to convert your existing writing assignments or other assignments into video assignments. Now, you know, can I speak as much to like math and science and things like that? I can't, but I can tell you that I have not struggled with converting older, existing assignments into it. So that part's pretty easy. It's a really good place to showcase student projects and presentations. If you've got an online or hybrid class, they can share their screen in a video just the same way we can. So, and it's not hard for them to do at all. So it's a really good way to showcase student work. And students tend to really like it. It's reminiscent of what they already do a lot in their own lives with making TikToks and other kinds of videos. And it really shows in their work. I feel like it's just much more authentic and enthusiastic, and that they tend to just put a lot more heart and soul into it than with other assignments. And I feel like you could use it for just about any subject. And the great thing is too, if they've got limitations in terms of their technology, they can make just as good of a video or view other people's videos just as easily from their smartphones. So I actually make a video the first day of class or before class starts as an example, and I do it from my phone in my office just so you can see how easy it is. And then I post that. Just like the students do. There are some drawbacks to it. So Ultra. I used to be able to embed the FlipGrid assignments directly into Blackboard, so they didn't even have to leave the Blackboard class to be able to access them and post their videos and do all this stuff, and it was seamless and beautiful. And now Ultra, for some reason, does not like embedding, except for under very limited and specific circumstances. If you don't know what I'm talking about with embedding HTML, then you can disregard. But for those of you who do that and know how nice it makes everything look and how seamless everything is when you embed, I'm sorry, but Ultra doesn't. You've already figured that out, I'm sure. But so instead, you really just have to link out to the FlipGrid. It's not a huge deal, but it just doesn't look as good. I talked to Lee McMahon about whether they're going to get more charitable with letting us embed HTML, and he said, who knows. Some students do. It's rare, but I have had some students tell me they do feel self-conscious making the videos. Particularly, I had one student tell me she was really self-conscious about her accent, and so of course I told her, no one's judging you on that, and she has a lovely accent. We're all very happy to hear from her, and we talked through it, and she's doing great now. But she was feeling a little self-conscious at first. Or if they don't want to be seen, they can change it so that it's showing a static screen or an image or something like that. There are workarounds for that. And at the beginning, it can be a little bit more time consuming to grade though than like a writing assignment. But I think that's just because if you're used to grading written assignments very quickly, which I definitely am, it can feel longer to sit and listen to a student talk about something than it is to very, very quickly grade. But just think back to how long it used to take you relative to now to grade stuff. It's just about what you're used to, I think. And rubrics can really help, I think, with that aspect of things. So I'll show you one of mine before we go. So, all right, FlipGrid, let's go take a look. What's it look like? So first thing you got to do is make yourself an account. And that's really easy to do because you can just do it through your Greenville Tech. I try to do everything through my Greenville Tech Gmail account just because it creates a more seamless kind of transition between stuff. But you can sign up. If I do that, it's going to take me right in there. So in Edge, this is what it looks like. I'm not logged in. So again, I recommend signing up with Google. This is how students are going to do it too. Pick your school Gmail account, easy peasy. Once you created your account, it's easy from there too. All you got to do to make a class is what's called making a group. So call it whatever you want. You can call it math is rad or whatever, or call it your actual class. That one's for you, Mark. Math is rad. You can change the picture up here. And I do anyone with the link so that you don't have to go through and personally approve each person. And then you have to decide how they're going to sign up. So here's where it's great. Basically, they are forced to use whatever email ending you choose. So choose their Greenville Tech one. So what it'll do when they sign up is it'll give them a space and then at my.gvltec.edu. So they have to use that email. They can't use a personal email. It's fantastic because I don't use Google Classroom. I don't know, maybe it's great. And then from there, you just give them the link, or maybe someday when we can embed again, you can do that. It gives you the HTML and you can just, whatever. I won't go on and on about that. It does upset me though. So you can copy the link, give them that link. And then if you've got like an online class or the first day of class, basically in Blackboard, I give them like an announcement where I show what it looks like when they go in. And I tell them we're going to be using FlipGrid. What you're going to record yourself making video responses, and then I give them the link, and then I tell them they're going to have to use I tell them many times, but they don't really have a choice. So I tell them, hold on, I've got the picture box over here in my way. Go away. There you are. Sorry. It's nice to see you guys, but I can't see me and stuff. Select join with Google, use the GTC Gmail account using with that. And it's really, it's very rare that students tell me that they ever have any problems getting signed up. If they do, it's because of something to do with their Chromebook or whatever not allowing. It's not even with this issue with the sign up. It's they can't see the assignments for some reason because it's not. I don't know. It's always something to do with the browser they're using or with their computer. But out of maybe 75 students, I may have like 2 at the beginning, and they always seem to figure it out how to work around it, whether it's using their phone or something like that. So share the group. You got a group, and then I usually have some kind of welcome assignment where they go on there, they introduce themselves, that kind of thing. But anytime you want to make an assignment, you go to where it says topic. You call it whatever, what's your favorite thing about math? Spelling counts. And then the only thing that's a little bit of a downside is that there is a limit to so this would be where you'd put your prompt or your instructions. There is a limit to how many words you can put in there. Let's see, I can't remember what it is, but it's not super limited, but I definitely had to shorten some assignments before. But my assignments get too long anyway, honestly, so it's probably for the best. So I'll show you an assignment in just a minute, but being specific about what you want from them is pretty important. And then you can also put a picture in there. Like if we're talking about a novel or talking about a particular topic, I'll put some kind of image to go with it. What else? You can specify the limit on their recording time. This is really important. If you don't do it, it's automatically going to be 1 minute and 30. The most you can go up to is 10 minutes. I would not. I mean, unless it's like some kind of major final project, I usually limit them at 5. And then I also, in my instructions, tell them a minimum amount of time as well that I want them to talk. So it might be like 2 minutes, which sounds pretty short, but they can actually say a good bit in 2 minutes. Does anybody have any questions so far about any of it before I show you some assignments? Do I need to? You can put them in the chat. You can unmute. You can do whatever. Okay, cool. let's go back to my groups. So I'm going to get rid of this one afterward. It's easy to do, but so these are my actual classes that I have right now. I've had other ones in the past, but I've archived those so that I can use them later. So let's see. I use it for my Honors 102 class. Like I said, I do an intro one. These are all the, I just number them. And then in Blackboard, I give them the link and it comes right out to this and it goes right to the assignment. So like I said, I like to use a little image, weird pictures and stuff like that, or things that are related. But this is just an example of some instructions that I give them and how it looks once they start posting. I give them usually a prompt, like maybe pick one of the questions and answer it in your video. I tell them they've got to incorporate specific examples. They have to stay in third person, which they really struggle to do, but they get used to it. At first, they want to say, I think, or I feel, or whatever, but it's good practice for getting out of that kind of talking because we don't typically like that in academic writing, as we know. And then I always remind them the importance of having a script. Some students can talk unscripted very easily. Most of them cannot. So they're going to apologize for looking off and toward the direction of their script. That's fine. And then they have to comment on 2 other classmates' video posts with replies. I give them a minimum length. I give them a maximum length. So since it's honors, they have to talk for at least 3 minutes. So here's a nifty thing. When you are grading, if you do have them reply to each other, which they just leave a comment, they can just leave a comment under the other person's video. So down here, they can record a video comment, but I've never had a student try and do that. I've never told them they can't. I've just never done it. They can put a little caption in that tells, which prompt they went with. Oh, somebody's in the chat. Can you add a due date? You can in Blackboard. Yeah, you can make an assignment, an offline assignment, or there's, I'll tell you what David Truby does. He makes a discussion board and like kind of merges these 2 formats together. I just make an offline assignment and then put the due date in that way. The only problem is when with the new Ultra, you have to be very careful about, you have to put in the submission time and day for them. And if you don't put it in as on or before, it'll automatically do whenever it is you're grading, and it'll say that it's late, which is super obnoxious. So, and I mean, if any of y'all have dealt with that with quizzes or tests or like paper pen assignments that they're doing offline, you know how obnoxious it is that you have to make sure that you put in that their submission date and time was on or before whatever's listed in Blackboard, or it's going to come up as late, and then they're going to freak out because they're going to say, I didn't do it late. I think I know. So you could warn them about that at the beginning, I guess, and just say, hey, it's going to say you're late when you're not late. Or you could painstakingly go through and put in, I don't know a workaround for that. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's going to be the same with any any offline assignment, which is anything that isn't submitted through Blackboard. But like I said, what David Truby does in my department is he makes a discussion board and he has them post the link to their video as their discussion board post and reply to each other's videos like in the discussion board rather than in the FlipGrid environment, which could be the workaround for that, I guess. So like I said, Ultra, when it was the other version of Blackboard, all of this worked together so much better than it does now, but I still feel like it's worth the effort, but I might try his method next time with the discussion board. So they can comment, they can reply to each other. I have them do at least 2 just to make it more like a conversation. So when you are grading, one neat thing you can do, and you need to make sure that you are in, what's it called? Something view. You can go to profile and decide it'll have you decide like what kind of view you're in. Member view. Okay, you need to be in member view. That's what it is. If you're and you shouldn't be in member view. I take it back. You should be in like admin view. Why would you do that? Because if you go to export data, what it'll do is it'll give you a spreadsheet of all of the submissions and responses so that you can see when you're grading, did they respond to 2 people, yes or no? So that makes it, or did they even do it at all? So when you're grading, you can go like doing your attendance or your grading, you can go through and look up the person and be like, okay, did Ava post this week? I just do the Control F. Yeah, Ava posted this week. Good job, Ava. So that makes it easier when you're doing, again, doing a discussion board would be a good workaround for that, but that's how I do it right now. So you can export that. And then this is what it looks like when they go in. They can see each other's names there and they just click on it. They watch the video, they reply. Obviously, people who post sooner get more comments on there. So that's just how it goes with discussion boards too. So if they don't want to be viewed, they can make it look like this, or they can put an image. So that's fine. I tell them that's fine. They don't have to be, they don't have to show their. I tell them I would love to see their beautiful faces, but they are not required to, and some don't want to. So that's totally fine. Okay, so how do I grade? I make so we talked about how to make topics, talked about exporting data. If you ever need to edit your assignment for any reason, it's 1,000 words. That's what it is, 1,000 words in there. You can just click on that little pencil to edit the topic. When it comes time to grade, I'm going to do this. Have y'all all moved on to Ultra too? Or is that something that only we got forced to do? Because I'm half and half. I've got my lit course still in the old Blackboard, and I've got, not yet, it's coming. Okay, well then I might as well just show you what it's going to look like in Ultra. Okay, brace yourself. So I make a rubric, which is a lot more obnoxious to do in Ultra, but that's a conversation for another day. I make a rubric, and I make an offline assignment basically for each FlipGrid. So when you're ready to, this is a whole Ultra training right here. So if you want to add something to the, I'm not equipped to show you how to use Ultra. That's like the 5-10 more hours of your life. So but this is what it'll look like when you have to do it. So let's say I'm making one, and it's called FlipGrid Infinity. Okay. This is a fun thing. You have to make everything visible to students or they'll never be able to see it. This is where you put in your due date. Okay. And this is where later when you go in and do the submission date and time, you got to make sure it's on or before, or it'll show up as late. Boo. But that's not FlipGrid's fault. It's Ultra's fault. You can put in the number of points, or you can, if you're going to use a rubric, which is, I use rubrics for everything. Is there any new stuff in you have one Ultra class. Isn't it great? Don't you love it? Okay, so let's say in week 5, they've got one. Okay. I know those of you who are have not used Ultra, you're like, what is happening right now? I know. You'll get there. Okay. So I create an assignment. Sorry. Okay, I create an assignment, and then this is where you can mess with things like what it's called. I already had FlipGrid Infinity. Let's call it that again. And this is where I give them the link. Infinity. This is where I give them the link down here. It says add. I just put add essay question, and then I just give them the link. So it'll look like. It looks so much better in the old Blackboard, but whatever. So I go to share. Copy the link. I usually call it whatever it is, FlipGrid Infinity or whatever the name of the assignment it is. Flip Infinity. And then I add the link. I remember it takes down afterwards. My students aren't like, what is this Flip Infinity nonsense you're talking about? I give them the link, and then I save it. You can put in the number of points here. And then when it comes to grading, you should be able to add a rubric. I'll show you one of mine in just a minute. Where's my rubric? Use grading rubric. All right, so you have to have one already made. That's a whole thing too. So here's what my FlipGrid grading rubric looks like. I don't evaluate their public speaking skills in any way. I don't know that I'm like qualified to really do that. And I don't know, they're already, it doesn't really seem to make a difference. You know, if they're going to do a good job, they're going to do a good job. So I'm really looking at content, organization and clarity, and their replies to each other. So it's what I do is it's basically just a modified version of my discussion board rubric in terms of it's very similar. There's just no category for MLA citation because they can't really cite in a video. They have to name page numbers and author names and things like that. So kind of, but it's not like I could make them put in a works cited. I don't feel like doing that. So they do that on other assignments. I'm really just listening to them talk. And the nice thing is I can just play it and I can go through and I can click on the boxes and put in my feedback and stuff as I'm listening to them. I can even pull it up on my phone because I got the app on my phone, and listen to them that way while I work on on this. So yeah, that's how I do it. That's how you can make it easier. Again, it's if you're the kind of person who can look at a writing assignment and pretty much grade it in 30 seconds, like some of us have gotten, you know, if you've been doing this for 15 years, then this is going to feel slower for you, but it does get faster over time, especially if you're using one of these. And yeah, I mean, how you choose to do it, it's really up to like what it is that you're wanting from them and what matters to you. I know Kathy, who's from biology, the person who told me about this, the arts and sciences, and I reached out to her for a rubric. Is it Kathy Maples from biology? Maybe. She showed me her rubric and she had all kinds of categories for, you know, presentation, the actual like public speaking, the clarity of that. And if they had to show documents or show like biological diagrams or things like that, then there were categories for that. It really just, like any other rubric, it just depends on what it is you're listening for or looking for from them. When it comes time at the end, my 102 students are going to be, well, actually all my women's lit too, they're going to be sharing their final projects through FlipGrid. And I am going to be using a different rubric for that does have categories for the public speaking clarity and the quality of their PowerPoint presentations. They're just going to basically go through their PowerPoints using FlipGrid. And I've done it before and they were excellent last semester, my women's lit online. I think they really enjoyed being able to share their projects so publicly, and they put a lot of effort into it. So any questions before I kind of wrap up a little bit? What have I not covered? Should do a sample assignment, should do a sample rubric. I want to see just a little bit of a sample video. This is from my women's lit class.
We can't hear her speaking.
We can't hear it though.
Yeah, we can't hear
okay.
it.
Hold on. I don't know how to do that. Maybe I need to share a different screen. Let's do a new share. All right. Can you hear that?
Nope.
Daggone it. Well, how the heck do I do that?
But she's paused.
Still no?
No,
Nope.
still no.
Boo. All right, let me try it in FlipGrid real quick. Let me just try. Let's try William. Yeah?
We're not seeing William's screen. It's still on
Zoom.
Kimberly.
I hate Zoom sometimes.
I'm constantly asking my students, what can you see? Can you see this?
I know. Can you see it? Wait, can you guys see him now?
Yeah, what are you seeing?
Do you see him now though?
Yes, I see him.
We
Do you
see
hear
him. No.
We still don't hear him though.
Ah, all right,
Haven't
forget
been
it.
able to get sound to work on videos for a couple of weeks. I've tried everything. I don't know how to make it happen.
Now I'm nervous because I have to show Othello to my hybrid students this week over Zoom. And I'm like, am I going to be able to do that? Dadgum. Well, just trust me when I say it's great. Another nice thing too is it automatically does closed captioning for the videos.
Ooh.
Is it? Yeah. So it's not, I would not say it's like 1,000% accurate, but it's quite good. And so this can be helpful if you've got students maybe heavier accents and you do need a little bit of help understanding what they're saying, or if you like to read along with what they're saying, you can, where it says download captions, you can pull it all up as one big document. And also it makes everything much more accessible for, like, FlipGrid is super duper duper accessible compliant. Just for those of us who've gone through all that training, it's really, really good on that front. So we don't have to really worry so much like with some of the other programs. They really go out of their way to make it very accessible with closed
Hey,
captioning.
I just looked up how to share the video with sound, and
Yeah.
it says that when you're sharing your screen, there's a box in the lower left corner that says share computer sound.
Oh, okay. Share sound.
That she really does anything right.
Is it working?
Or
Yeah,
Yep.
we can
Yep.
hear it.
towards her-
Oh, you're the best.
towards her children.
Oh my gosh.
She is constantly critical of her children, Dee and Maggie. And she also makes a lot of comparisons between herself and Dee, kind of envious comparisons.
So I don't know, there's something I'm not gonna show you the whole thing. And this is an honor student, so okay. But yeah, even non-honor students, there's just something about the inflection and how things are. Thank you, Tracy. Like, you have no idea how much this means to me, because you have I have just been screwing everything up with this honors class, like, nonstop. If there's a mistake that can be made, I have made it. And I was not looking forward to having yet another week of being like, I don't know what I'm doing. So thank you.
You're
But yeah,
welcome.
I really like that. Now, okay, maybe this isn't important for every subject, but I like having the human element and the inflection.
Sammy from AMP is not a sympathetic protagonist.
Like, I don't know, I just think it's delightful. Oh, that's not a good screen
See-ish.
freeze. Sorry, kiddo. You know, when you like freeze the screen real quick and makes a person's face like as unflattering as imaginable. I'm like, oh, if somebody did that to me, I'm like, just give me 2 more seconds and unfreeze my face to a better look. But obviously she picked they can do backgrounds, they can do filters, they can turn themselves into a cup of hot chocolate if they want to. Like, they can get creative with it. And like I said, I post on the first day at the beginning. This is really good for online classes. Posting yourself. Hey everybody. So if you want them to see what you look like and kind of get a sense of like who you are, what your personality and your vibe is like, particularly for online classes. Oh yeah, hopefully Mark saw that. This can be a really good way to create, again, that kind of human element and to kick off the conversation. So I do this in all the classes where I use FlipGrid. So, and I did this one from my phone in my office. It's nice, it's easy. So that makes things much more equitable, because even if they don't have a great laptop with a fancy camera or any of that kind of stuff, it's almost inevitable that they're going to have a smartphone capable of making these. And for students who have a hard time, some have told me the hardest thing about the FlipGrids is just finding a quiet space to record, because they've got family, they've got whatever. And so they'll go out to their cars and they'll just make a video, obviously not while driving. They'll make a video in their car so they can get away from everybody. And yeah, car videos are very common, but it's all good, you know, the work gets done. So, and like I said, this isn't going to take a whole hour. This is it. It's kind of one of those things you just got to get in there and do. Make a group, make some topics, some assignments. They're very easy to share, and hopefully Ultra will get its act together and we'll be able to embed, because just so you know why just so you can see what or for those of you who maybe aren't switching over to Ultra anytime soon, you're welcome. This is what it looked like in the old, when you can embed. I don't want to save any of that. So in my women's lit class, it looks like They go to course content. It's in their weekly folder. You might want to make them, to go over expectations and grading and all that kind of stuff. I just make them a video. But this is what it looks like if you can embed. They can see it, and they can actually record in Blackboard, and they don't have to go in, and they can see everybody's video posts. Isn't that nice?
This is, Liz, this is the original
Yeah, this is the
Blackboard, not
original
the
Blackboard.
Ultra. Okay.
This is the original. Oh no, it's much better in the old Blackboard than in the new Blackboard.
Okay. What
This is-
can you just show us real quick what it looks like in the Ultra?
Yes, I can. So it's basically it's just they see a link. They go in and they see a link, and then it goes out to the FlipGrid. So I make an assignment. So we're in Ultra right now. Meet me FlipGrid. So this is what it looks like.
Okay.
They click on it. Looks like this.
It is very sterile looking, like you said.
But when they click on it, it goes to the assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't love that. Oh, look at that dog. So and like I said, you can do that. You can, if you're not in member view, if you're in if you go to view and dashboard, that's where you can export the data and stuff. It took me forever to figure out how to do that. David Truby had to help me. But yeah, I don't love this. And again, it's an offline submission. You have to select that so that there's nothing for them to submit in here by accident. Unless you want to do it through discussion board, but then you're still just giving them the link like this, that you can't embed anything in a discussion board that I'm aware of either. So hopefully that will be fixed by the time that y'all have to move over to Ultra. And if you need me to show you how to embed HTML, it's a game changer. So easy peasy and looks great. But okay, that's really all I got. Unless y'all have any questions. I'm happy to, like, if you ever, you can obviously, you've got this recording that walks through how to do stuff, but I'm always happy to sit down with you at your computer and walk you through how to make stuff too. You're welcome.
Yeah,
This looks really
thanks, Liz.
interesting, Liz. Thanks.
Yeah, I hope
I
you
think it would
try
be
it out.
great for my ESL students.
Oh,
I
for
have
sure.
I have them do, I do it's kind of like a public
Welcome.
speaking class.
Yeah.
And we do all our presentations in class, but I think it would be great to have them have that little bit of extra practice where they're submitting portions of their presentation as videos, just to give them that little extra practice.
Yeah.
I'm scared of all the Ultra stuff. Like, that's what's worrying me.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to allay your fears, but they are valid.
Okay, if I try this, I may be calling you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm happy to walk you through what to do. Yeah, for real, Marcus. It's not dramatic. It's just not great. It's just not better. It's so much worse in so many ways.
Why are we doing it? Why?
That's an excellent question. I can only imagine it has to do with money, but I don't know. But that's a conversation for another day. So I'm gonna, and it's so, Mary is 100% right about that. I'm gonna stop recording so that I don't get fired.
We won't tell.
Thanks, friends. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off. If you need anything from me or any help getting started, I'm always happy to help. And thanks for coming.
Thanks, Liz.
Bye, guys.
Bye.